Imagine eating at a star restaurant in Bengaluru and later finding they failed the food test, the safety test. To make things worse, there seems to be spoils from the raid. Quite literally, 31 litres of expired milk found at a prominent hotel. Rotten vegetables found in a star hotel. Rotten onions recovered from storage area of a star hotel. These were the spoils of raids on 60 star hotels in Bengaluru. Notices have been served to hotels for not maintaining standards. That's just one part. There's a larger concern. This cannot be only a Bengaluru problem, which is by itself shocking. A meal for two in any five-star hotel could very easily be around 5K, 6K, conservative figures. But what are the safety standards, not just in star hotels? There's a deeper rot. In a major crackdown led by Maharashtra FDA Commissioner Tukaram Munde, the Food and Drug Administration suspended licenses of 6 hotels and restaurants across Mumbai. Recently, after surprise inspections uncovered serious food safety violations. Inspectors reportedly found rats, cockroaches, infestations, expired food, unhygienic kitchens, poor storage conditions and other violations at several establishments. In Pune last month, 6 hotel eateries, some very popular ones, were sealed after FDA inspected 36 hotels, restaurants and dhabas as part of a special statewide operation, during which the department seized adulterated and prohibited goods worth several crores. How deep is the rot? I'm being joined at this point by Urvashi Agarwal, who's a food and safety educator. Dr. Gitika Chopra joins us, who's also a celebrity nutritionist. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. Urvashi Agarwal, imagine what we are seeing on our screens. Tell us how bad or how okay is it? You know, something that's often told about media is you just hype everything. You just create a big deal out of nothing. How do you look at this rotten spoils, quite literally, from star hotels in Bengaluru?
Well, I'm not shocked or surprised because let me tell you about my tenure of 3 years working as a food safety educator. And I have shared umpteen reels on these 5 stars or premium looking restaurants, right? And the food safety violations. And I have shared food safety reports, inspection reports, pictures and videos. And let me tell you, there is no food safety violation which I have not known of. Whether it is unhygienic conditions, cockroach, fly infestation, expired food, fungus infested food, veg, non-veg, segregation not done. Everything is possible. The only thing is that when we go to these 5-star restaurants or premium looking restaurants, the conditioning of the mind is, oh, we are going to pay a fancy price. We are going to get a great dining experience and we are going to get safe and hygienic food. But that's a fallacy. And it's not only in Bengaluru, like you said, it has happened in my city, Hyderabad, so many times, in Mumbai, in Rajasthan, there's so many states. So it's a very big fallacy that 5 stars or fancy restaurants will serve you hygienic food. No, they will not. And there is no way you will know because there are no CCTV cameras, there is no open kitchen available, and there are not regular food safety inspections which are done. So you'd not know.
Right. In fact, Miss Urvashi, you spoke about how you have seen this firsthand, how you have, you've known of much serious things that have happened. Tell us this very simple thing. For those who are looking at this and saying, this may have been thrown any day, it may have just gotten rotten, kept there, it's a vegetable, it's a perishable item, and maybe the check was just due and they were supposed to throw it off. How would you respond to that?
Well, I would just say that, any premium restaurant, right, or a 5-star restaurant, or any eatery for that matter, when you're working in the kitchen 24/7, or let's say 6 days a week, right, it is not possible. I mean, you have to follow certain rules and regulations which are given by FSSAI, right? How is it that the workers or the staff is not able to do it? They they don't take care of things because they know that food safety laws in India are lax. There are no food safety inspections being done, and there are no CCTV cameras, so they will get away with it. That's the reason. And I say this because of my experience, because I have seen this happening. And let me tell you, even when inspections were done again and again in Hyderabad restaurants, the restaurants were repeat defaulters. They did not mend their ways. They went about doing all the food safety violations, right? So it is not about one day that, okay, surprise inspection happened, so rotten potatoes or rotten onion or expired milk was found. No, it's not like that. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. And I'm glad that some states are working now passionately towards food safety, especially Mr. Tukaram Munde. Okay, and that's why food safety now is in vogue.
Quite clearly, he can be called the Dabang food inspector,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I would give a lot of credit to the food safety department in Telangana also. We have 4 teams in Telangana. 4 teams are working non-stop to keep, the people of Hyderabad safe and give them hygienic food.
Right. Dr. Geetika Chopra, when you look at these visuals on the screen, the reality is this isn't a 5-star hotel, a 3-star hotel, a 4-star hotel, 60-star hotels. But the truth of this is across the country, irrespective of star or not star. Whether you go to a Rediwala, whether you go to a regular restaurant, or a non-star hotel, and now unfortunately even a star hotel, one would have thought, as psychologically one thinks about it, fewer people, fewer customers, higher costs and therefore higher quality. Clearly that's not the case. How do you look at this? To say don't eat out is a fallacy. That's not going to happen. For many people, it's it's part of daily life as well, because not everyone lives with their family or so on and so forth.
True. I totally agree with you. That people love to eat out, and that's how they actually reduce their stress and anxiety. That's a mode of reducing stress and anxiety. And when they are trying to reduce the stress and anxiety by eating at a good place, a good ambience, and they are paying well, so the good quality food should be kept in front of them. In fact, I've had so many complaints, especially in the rainy season and otherwise as well, as the food unit just said, that people eat outside and they fall ill. And it's really terrible. Just think about pregnant women, lactating women, and then the elderlies and the growing up adults and growing up children. And what about the weak immunity people? Their stomach goes haywire. It goes really bad. And when we are trying to repair the gut goes really bad again. So definitely, I think strict action should be taken against it.
Dr. Geetika, I want to ask you this question. Look at countries like Singapore. Even Malaysia, Singapore more. People don't cook at their homes.
True.
You have stalls in each society, in each residential complex. People come from work, pack the food, go back home. Before going to work, they'll get their food, eat, and go back home. They don't cook food at home. It's part of their daily life. How is that? Is food safety a fallacy there, or do they have a different set of standards there that we just cannot cope with?
Definitely, they have different set of standards and they're following the standards very well. And moreover, I give diet to international clients and they never make rotis at home. And they have their proper wraps which are made outside and they just pick it up. They have their smoothies, they pick it up. They have their bagels, they pick it up. They will pick up from French fries are so common over there. But we never had this problem of adulteration in international countries because the rules are followed so nicely.
What then is the problem, Urvashi Agarwal, if you have countries that are following it? I'm not saying it's everything good outside and everything bad here, but there clearly is a daily eating out culture among working professionals in many countries. Hygienic food served in a very hygienic manner is a basic right that they really depend on. And, unlike India or, say, Philippines or, even other, say, West Asia, where people cook their food on a daily basis, that's not the case in many countries as well. So what's the problem when you have such a huge eating out culture in a country like India?
See, so first of all, we need to understand, we all know about it, that, you know, every nook and corner has an eatery, right? We are not talking about street food vendors, we're talking about stalls, we are talking about any FPO. There's so many numbers of eateries. It is practically impossible to conduct food safety inspections, you know, on each eatery. That's number one. Number two, we don't have the manpower. I've already spoken, you know, about this, that, you know, in the food safety, the team, right? In Telangana, we have one food safety officer per district. So the numbers are like so low. Number three, even if there are so many eateries, how many professionals are actually trained? They're not trained. They're not trained. If you look at the videos on Instagram, maybe you can say that you know, some Instagram videos are melodrama or over the top, but these guys are not trained at all. And FSSAI has a training, you know, programs, but these vendors, they don't go. We have hygiene rating, FSSAI hygiene rating for the restaurants. It is not mandatory. It is an optional hygiene rating, which is valid for 2 years. Not many restaurants opt for it. Right? And then, you know, because of the increasing food safety violations, now people's mindset has also changed. Arey, this is going to happen everywhere. Let's might as well go, close our eyes, close our ears, and let's just go out and eat. Right? So there are so many reasons for this fiasco in India. Food safety laws are flawed. I mean, imagine a well-to-do restaurant which does lakhs of business. You are putting a penalty of 1 lakh 25,000. I mean, it's laughable. And what happens to the restaurants who are repeat offenders? I have so many examples to give here. Nothing happens to them. You get improvement notice. Look at what is happening in Maharashtra. Right? What is happening is that all these fancy restaurants, they are going to the High Court. And they're saying, okay, you know what? 2 cockroaches were found. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. How many cockroaches is a big deal? I want to know. The cockroach in my mouth is a big deal. The cockroach, you know, around my table is a big deal. I mean, there's so many reasons, right? So we need to have a paradigm shift in food safety, and it depends on the people, it depends upon the eateries, and it depends upon the authorities. The entire system has to be changed.
Right. In fact, Dr. Geetika, let's just look at what we just heard right now from Urvashi Agarwal. She says, what is a big deal? How much is a big deal? Is the cockroach in the mouth a big deal? And not, on a plate, not a big deal? Why I'm asking you this question? You know, at one level, you find it extremely gross that you would find rotten onions and rotten potatoes. Maybe that's also been cooked. Tell us, what does this mean for people who possibly would be consuming this at different levels across the country? You know, young people, elderly, small children, families. Eating out is about survival now as well for working people and students.
True. That's actually so true that people love to eat out, and that's a mode of a survival as well. But the hazardous effects and like the inflammation levels increase, then diarrhea, vomiting, even feverish people feel. So, and then to compensate, then that the medicines have to be taken. So that's actually not right. What is happening? So something should be done.
Right. How would you look at this? I mean, what would you tell? What kind of cases have come before you where you have suspected that this could be one of the reasons why they have fallen ill? Or what would you suggest people who come across and say, oh, this happened to us?
Very, very common thing is nausea, vomiting, and they were feeling feverish. Their stomachs were upset for 3 days, and they were not able to cope up with it in spite of the medicines they took, in spite of the diet which was given to them, in spite of putting them on khichidis and ORS. The adulteration level was so high, the infection level was so high in the body that they had to be given like strong medicines were put in the bodies, like something like bananas or sweet potatoes or maybe khichidis or dal chawal or ghee, which is given to them, doesn't work at that time because the infection level goes up so high. So in that case, medicines, strong doses are given to subside them down. So that clearly indicates that the food infection levels are really high. So that's actually a thing of thought.
Absolutely. Ms. Urvashi, possibly my last question. You know, train food. you find cockroaches, you find rodents.
Yes.
You go to your grocery shop next door, you'll find rodents hopping around sometimes. You go across to hotels, you will find insects and all kinds of things. Is there a way out of this? You know, if we talk about personnel are not there, manpower is less, there's no willpower, whatsoever, whatever we want to say. Is this a reality we got to live with?
Well, I would just say that each party needs to take responsibility, right? So if you are a grocery store, be responsible how you keep the groceries, keep the rodents and away. If you are an eatery and you are serving people food, you've got to be responsible that
So if
you
you're not
keep...
responsible, what happens? Like, for example, in this case, notices have been given, and then what happens?
Well, notices have been given, and then they are given improvement notices, which basically mean improve yourself. And some restaurants don't improve themselves. Some restaurants improve themselves for a short period of time and fall back to their old ways. So I've always said that if inspections cannot be done at a regular interval, please make sure, you know, restaurants, please have CCTV cameras.
Right.
You know, if you have CCTV cameras, it's good for the people. They will see what they're eating. It's good for you also. You will see how your staff is handling, preparing, cooking the food, right? Or have live kitchens.
And it's not a must, is it? It's not a must to have CCTV.
It is not mandatory at all. It's not mandatory. I mean, I would just say, let me just be very honest on national TV, that I would want to tell all the eateries the lakhs of rupees that you spend on food bloggers, right? Promoting your restaurants. Spend few lakhs on installing CCTV cameras. People want to see your ambience, people want to see your menu, people want to see how good experience you give, but we also want to see how our food is prepared, handled, and cooked and served.
Very
If you show
interesting.
us,
Would you
I'm
agree,
telling you, if
Dr.
you show me
Geetika Chopra?
any restaurant which has CCTV camera, I would definitely go there.
Very interesting. I think this is something that the government must look into. It's not a big deal. I mean, to get a CCTV camera, put it on the kitchen so that there is more scrutiny. And I mean, it's great publicity.
Yes, absolutely. You know, in Hyderabad, a couple of restaurants have actually started posting reels how they are doing their self-inspection in the kitchens, right? And they have, a couple have put CCTV cameras and people have lauded them that, yes, this is a step that we need to take up.
Right. Dr. Geetika, your last words?
Yeah. So I think best option is if all of them can keep open kitchens, that will be the best thing. So at least the people who are sitting to eat, they can see what's happening and how the cooking part is done and how clean the chefs and how clean the place is.
Right.
So yeah. So
yes,
suggest
CCTV cameras or open kitchen, that's the way to go.
I think there was a time where people used to say every publicity is a good publicity. I think one thing we must take note of, that this cannot be a good publicity, but a way to turn this around as a good publicity is possibly the response that both of you have given. I think CCTV cameras and open kitchens are a great takeaway. And nothing for anyone, either if you're a stakeholder in a restaurant, whether you are an FDA authority or part of the government, I think this is a great step really to take forward. Urvashi Agarwal, Dr. Geetika, thank you very much for joining us on this.